The practice of bulldozer justice in India has been a contentious and divisive issue, laying bare the tensions between governance, community rights, and the rule of law. For years, images of bulldozers rolling into neighborhoods and tearing down homes have symbolized both state power and its excesses. Now, in a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court of India has intervened, not just to question this practice, but to redefine its limits, offering hope to those who have suffered its devastating consequences. At the heart of the ruling is a simple yet profound idea: no one should be punished without due process. The court declared that demolitions, often carried out as acts of punitive justice, must be preceded by at least 15 days' notice, allowing affected individuals the opportunity to respond legally. It is a decision that underscores the judiciary's role as a guardian of the Constitution and a check on executive overreach. Yet, the broader story, the human cost of bulldozer justice, goes beyond the courtroom. For many, the term bulldozer justice evokes visceral memories of sudden loss and displacement. One need only look at the data. Between January 2022 and December 2023, over 153,000 homes were demolished across India, leaving more than 738,000 people displaced. These aren't just numbers, they represent lives uprooted, futures derailed, and communities torn apart. Families lose not only their homes, but also their identity and dignity. Children are left without schools, women without the safety of a roof, and entire generations without the stability that a home provides. Take the case of a small neighborhood in Madhya Pradesh, where bulldozers arrived at dawn without warning. Residents watched helplessly as their homes crumbled. Some had built their houses decades ago, painstakingly saving every rupee to provide a secure future for their children. But that day, the bulldozers reduced those dreams to rubble. The authorities claimed the demolitions targeted illegal structures, but for the residents, it felt like collective punishment, a reprisal for protests in the area. Many of the affected were Muslim, highlighting a troubling pattern noted by rights advocates. Punitive demolitions disproportionately target minorities, particularly in BJP-led states. This pattern of demolitions is not accidental. Critics argue that bulldozer justice has been weaponized as a tool of political messaging. In states governed by the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, the bulldozer has become a symbol of strong governance, deployed against alleged lawbreakers to project an image of zero tolerance. Yet, this form of governance often blurs the line between enforcing the law and bypassing it. In the process, it undermines the principles of justice, reducing entire families to collateral damage in the state's show of force. The Supreme Court's ruling is a crucial step toward addressing these injustices, but the challenges ahead are immense. The court was unequivocal in pointing out that demolitions targeting homes as a form of collective punishment violate the fundamental principles of justice and fairness. Yet ensuring that its directives are implemented uniformly across the country will require more than judicial orders. State and local authorities must overhaul their systems to ensure that notices are issued, responses are heard, and demolitions, if absolutely necessary, are carried out transparently and humanely. For affected communities, the ruling offers a glimmer of hope, but it also raises questions. Will this decision truly change the reality on the ground? Or will it remain another well-intentioned directive lost in a maze of bureaucracy and selective enforcement? Activists have welcomed the judgment, but stress that vigilance is key. They point out that historically, powerful interests often find ways to circumvent judicial rulings, particularly when those rulings threaten entrenched systems of power. The issue of bulldozer justice also forces us to confront deeper questions about housing and urban development in India. Why do illegal constructions proliferate in the first place? The answer lies in systemic failures: poor urban planning, corruption, and a lack of affordable housing. For millions of Indians, building on unauthorized land is not a choice but a necessity, a desperate attempt to secure shelter in a system that offers them few alternatives. When these homes are demolished, it is not just a question of legality, but also of human rights. As the Supreme Court observed, demolitions should not become a tool for inflicting collective punishment, especially on vulnerable communities. This ruling also brings to light the broader displacement crisis in India. The Housing and Land Rights Network's data paints a grim picture of a country where millions are forced to live without stability. Behind every demolished home is a story of struggle. A mother who can no longer provide a safe space for her children, a father whose livelihood is destroyed along with his workshop, a student who must abandon their studies because they no longer have a place to live. These are not abstract problems. They are the lived realities of those pushed to the margins. Yet amidst the despair, there are signs of resistance and resilience. Activist groups, legal aid organizations, and community leaders are stepping in to support those affected. In neighborhoods where demolitions have occurred, displaced families are organizing, demanding accountability, and fighting for their right to be heard. Social media has become a powerful tool, amplifying their voices and bringing attention to injustices that might otherwise have gone unnoticed. These efforts are a reminder that justice is not just about court rulings, it is about empowering people to reclaim their dignity and their rights. The Supreme Court's judgment marks an important moment in this struggle, but it is only a beginning. For real change to occur, India must address the structural issues that allow bulldozer justice to persist. This includes strengthening the rule of law, holding authorities accountable, and ensuring that housing policies prioritize human dignity over punitive measures. It also requires a shift in political culture, moving away from governance as a display of power toward governance as a means of service and protection. As India grapples with these challenges, the stories of those who have suffered under bulldozer justice must not be forgotten. They are a reminder of the human cost of policies that prioritize power over people. They also serve as a call to action, urging us to build a society where justice is not a privilege, but a right, and where every individual, regardless of their background, can live with dignity and security. The Supreme Court has laid the foundation. It is now up to the nation to ensure that this foundation supports a more just and compassionate future.